Hello TradeFlare family, welcome back to TradeFlare Knowledge, the exclusive series designed to build your knowledge of trading and investing so you can unlock your earnings potential. Today we're diving into our fourth unit of TradeFlare Knowledge, talking about our brokerage of choice. And now that we have a better understanding of what all this stock market stuff is, we can dive into the brokerage and trading platform before we get into more advanced topics in future units. So we're going to be showing you how we set up our one-screen workspace and giving you a better idea on how you can customize your Thinkorswim platform to have everything right where you need it when you need it. There's definitely other brokerages and trading platforms that can compare to TD Ameritrade, Thinkorswim, but the reason I like it is because I've been using it for a long time. I trust it. It's also now majority owned by Charles Schwab, a reputable financial services company. The platform also provides a lot of help on their website and on their YouTube. So for those reasons, I lean towards Thinkorswim. I've used other brokerages, but this is the one I really like. If you haven't signed up for TD Ameritrade and you would like to start an account, you can use the first link in the description below to start an account. If you're starting an account that's just meant for you trading and investing, you will probably want to start an individual brokerage account. TD Ameritrade gives you the ability to open up plenty of different types of accounts like joint accounts, retirement accounts, education savings, etc. If you're trying to keep it simple, just try the individual brokerage account, set that up. I would contact a financial advisor to see if like a Roth IRA or any of these other sorts of accounts would be good for you. It's not really an area I will speak on. Like we always mention, we aren't financial professionals. We're just experienced traders guiding a family-like community of investors and traders through Discord and YouTube. But I will tell you, if you want to simply open a trading account for TD and Thinkorswim, open an individual brokerage account. And if you don't have 25K and want to have 15 day trades a week rather than 3, you're going to want to select a cash account only. And this is when you're choosing margin privileges. As far as margin goes, it can be really risky, especially if you're a beginner trader. If you are learning, a cash account is probably your great first option. You can always upgrade to a margin account later if you decide to. But overall, if you have any problems getting this account set up, feel free to comment below or reach out to TD Ameritrade. Like I said, they're solid when it comes to customer support. So now once you have your account set up, you can download the Thinkorswim platform to your computer and to your phone so you can have access to your account anywhere. There's a TD Ameritrade app and a Thinkorswim app. They're both important. The Thinkorswim trading platform is for trading only, and the TD Ameritrade website and app is more for account management, but you can invest and trade from there as well. If you need to deposit money, you're going to have to go through the TD Ameritrade app or website, but it will show up right away in your Thinkorswim account when you deposit. Money usually takes 3 to 4 days to settle for options trading, but you can buy stock right away with your deposit. So now that we have all that taken care of, let's dive into the Thinkorswim platform, starting with the default workspace. And the first thing I want to talk about is this workspace idea. In Thinkorswim, you can save everything that you customize and have it one click away by going up to the setup button up here and going down and selecting save workspace. Then you can name it and it'll be right here whenever you need it at the click of a button. The next key point up here to the right is the support button, and I want to mention this because you'll most likely have to use this at one point to get some question answered, or even at first to get real-time quotes on your account. So the support tab is really helpful. They'll usually take a few minutes, but they will respond and help you figure everything out. So those are the two main things up here on the right corner that I want to talk about. The next thing I want to talk about is the home screen, and this home screen is not usually where I spend most of my time, but it's nice to customize it to have it the way you like it. I personally would rather have market data on the home screen than have all this stuff. So here I'm adding watch list heat maps for the 4 heaviest weighted sectors in the S&P 500. And this can be helpful in spotting, where's the money, what's hot, and what's really pulling the S&P 500. As far as this news tab to the right, I usually keep it closed. I don't want to discredit it. It has some good solid resource, but I don't use it as much. So now I have this home screen the way I want it. I'm going to go over here to the left slide out here, and I'm going to edit some of these gadgets. You'll probably find this left slide out pretty useful. Like everything about Thinkorswim, it's very customizable and can be saved with the workspace. The way I set up mine is I usually only use 3 watch lists here on the left side. I find that that's the only gadget I really end up using. I do my 3 watch list, 1 for my nightly breakdown, 1 for my sectors and indices, and 1 for my currency and bonds. It's cool, it's flexible, you can adjust the way they fit together. Next, I'll adjust the watch list settings so that I see symbol, percent change, last price, and volume only. I also detach a watch list and expand it so that I can have more information on it. I do this so I can add stuff like the sector, the industry, the sub-industry, the volume, the market cap, and the PE ratio and other fundamentals. Now, if you don't know what any of this means, don't worry, we will be talking about all of this in later units. So let's go back to where we were, where I keep the quick numbers. Now we can go look at the charts tab. And one thing I want to bring up real quick is the fact that you can link everything that we use together so that you don't have to type in the tickers anywhere but your watch list. To do this, use the chain button and it will drop down a color-coded list of numbers, and this is for you to organize your connections within charts. If you have multiple screens, this is very helpful, but if you're using one screen, you will probably only need to use the number 1. So I'll go ahead here and link my charts, my trade tab, and my analyze tab all to number 1, and then I'll go back to charts. So notice whenever I click on these tickers now, they are linked to the charts and now to the trade and analyze tab. This is the quickest way to have everything there right when you need it, just a click away. And again, you can save this stuff to your workspace later. So now let's go and customize the charts the way you like. The settings of the chart is called the style, and anything that you draw or add to the charts is part of the drawing set. Just like your workspace, you can save these and have them right where you need them with a click of a button. So first off, let's set up the style. I'm going to show you the way I like to do it. There are plenty of different features that you can add, but this is how I like to set up mine. First, I'll go to the settings wheel, and the thing I'll do first is turn off everything that annoys me that creates clutter. I'll first get rid of the high-low bubbles, don't need those. Next, I'll go to the appearance tab and I'm going to fill in the colors of my candles. And after that, I'm going to color my volume bars by checking this circle here. And then I'm going to get rid of this grid and use a black background because I find that candles show up best on that. Next, I'm going to go over to the equities tab and I'm going to get rid of the overnight session data. And I'm going to have it as an option in my style menu so I can highlight it whenever I want. To do that, I will highlight these arrows by clicking them and then unclick the boxes to the left. The next thing I'm going to get rid of is these theoretical price and open interest on the options chart. This is just something annoying that I delete every time it pops up. Next, I'm going over to time axis. I'm getting rid of these rollover lines and expiration lines because they're annoying, they cause clutter. And the next thing that is important to do is the time frames. And the time frames you use are important. I use a combination of day trading, swing trading, and long-term investing in my strategy. And the default settings are solid and give you the most, but I like to add a monthly time frame that gives me the max available time to look at. And that's really more for long-term investing, and we will go over all of these time frames later in later units. But for now, just know that these are the ones you will need, and these are the most standard in trading and investing. Now that we have our time frame added, we can now click apply. And now we're going to want to save the style of the chart so we can use this later and manipulate it as we need to right now. I do this by clicking style, then going down to save style, and then I'll add a name. Next, let's talk about drawing tools and drawing sets. Again, completely customizable and savable, and if you don't know how to use these yet, don't worry, all of this charting stuff will be covered in future units. But you can access your drawing tools by clicking the center of your mouse or by going down here to the pointer and choosing from the menu here. To give you an example of how you can customize, I will show you with a support level here. If I double click, it will extend a price level to the right. To edit this price level, I will right click on it, press edit properties, and now I have a bunch of stuff I can do. Just to show you what you can do, I'm going to mess around with all this stuff and save it as a default. And when I'm done, now whenever I place a price level, it will have the default settings attached. This is also really nice. You can update your default settings and save them with your workspace. If I want to save my drawing set so I can have the same drawings on this ticker later and delete them right now, I can go to the bottom right and save my drawing set and switch to the default and clear the workspace and bring that named drawing set right back to where I need it when I need it later. So now that we have our style and drawing sets, let's do our indicator sets. So for our first indicator set, we're going to do a basic set with our 3 main moving averages, our 20, our 50, and our 200. Now to add an indicator, I'm going to go to this hourglass up here, and then I'm going to go to type in a simple moving average, and then I'm going to add selected here. Now I can adjust the settings of each of these using the settings wheel. I'm going to now change the length and color of each of these simple moving averages. First, I will change the first one to white, and I'm going to make the length here 20. On the second one, I'm going to change the color to blue, and I'm going to change the length to 50. And on the third one, I'm going to change the color to green, and I'm going to change the length to 200. Now to add this as a set so I can use it and have it right there whenever I need it, I'm going to go down here and click save as set. I'll name this one moving averages, and I'll be able to click whichever moving average from this saved set whenever I want to later on, just right there when I need to. Now let's go over to our next trading set. We're going to be adding some intraday indicators that are used very often. So first we're going to add something called an exponential moving average. So we're going to go back to that hourglass, search exponential moving average. I'll click add selected, and then I'm going to make this thing change. I'm going to change the length, and I'm going to make it yellow. So the length of this exponential moving average is the 9-day exponential moving average. And next we're going to add a volume weighted average price, or VWAP. So I'll search for VWAP, and I'm going to make the color a dark purple, and then I'm going to get rid of both of the upper and lower bands so we only see the VWAP. Next, I'm going to add something called a MACD, or moving average convergence divergence, and when I edit this one, I'm just going to change the colors. I'm going to make the value here, I'm going to make it green, and then I'm going to make the average, I'm going to make that red. Next, I'm going to add something called a relative strength index, and or RSI. And I'll do the same thing by just changing the color. For oversold, I use green, and for overbought, I use red. And now I can save this set and name it. And now I'm just going to add 3 more indicators that I use to have their own sets, so I can just have them right there without having to search them and edit them every time. Now the first indicator that's going to get its own set is going to be Bollinger Bands. And when I edit these, I'm going to be changing the color of the outside bands to red, and I'm going to be changing the color of the inside 20-day moving average to white. So simple as that. I'm going to save this one as its own set, name it Bollinger Bands, and on to the next indicator. So the next indicator that's going to have its own set is going to be the Chaikin money flow indicator, and I'm not going to change anything about this one. Feel free to mess with the colors, I won't here. Make sure you save this set, name it Chaikin money flow, and you should be good. On to the last indicator, I'm going to be adding a TTM squeeze and saving it as its own set. So now we have our indicators set up. So let's head over to the trade tab, and here we have an option chain, and we want to make sure we can see what we need to looking at the chain. So here where it says strikes, I'm going to select all, and then I'm going to edit it so that it gives me the volume, the open interest, the percent change, and the delta. Select OK, and then lastly we need to edit the application settings so that the default order amount is 1 for the stocks and options that we trade. That is what I'm doing here. I'll go to settings up top and then click on application settings, then order defaults, and then change it for both stocks and options to 1. When that's done, it's now time to save my workspace so that everything will be one click away. I go to the top right corner to setup, and then I go down to save workspace, and I'll name it Arcade's workspace. And that pretty much wraps up how I set up my workspace. I hope you learned a little bit about where things are so that you can hit the ground running with Thinkorswim. And that wraps up this unit of TradeFlare Knowledge. If you enjoyed the video, if you learned something, make sure you let us know by hitting that like button, and don't forget to subscribe so you get notified whenever we post a video. If you're looking to become an official part of our TradeFlare family, check out the link to our Discord in the description below for full access with trade signals. Upgrade to TradeFlare Pro, get half off your first month using the code TFPRO2021. And as always, we are not financial advisors. None of this is a recommendation. Stock market is risky. You could lose money, so use the information inside of all these videos and our Discord at your sole discretion. And do not forget that time is your most valuable asset, so quit wasting it. Get up, get out, and go get it, my friend.